I thought I might start today with a controversial, topical, highly emotive situation that's occurring right now here in our region, but also globally. And so the title, "Is It Safe for Whales to Get in the Water?" was meant to actually bring us up to that and say, well, what's the deal with this? But really, addressing sustainability issues of captive and non-captive marine wildlife tourism with a guiding model is the effective title. Across the world, of course, there's pressure coming on to close captive dolphin whale facilities, captive dolphinariums, whatever you'd like to call them, and particularly because one of the arguments here is that there are all these in-the-wild tourism opportunities occurring for people to be able to actually experience these animals in the wild rather than having to keep them in captivity. It sounds good in theory, but the statistics are starting to show that there are numerous issues in this situation. There are some critical things happening in the marine wildlife scene. Where these tourists are starting to jump in the water are critical birthing habitats, or parts of the world that are absolutely vital for the animals to survive to then do migration, particularly for these sorts of animals that we're seeing here. But this is occurring all around the world at an increasing rate, and we're not sure about the impacts. My area is not environmental impact study anymore, mine is tourist impact management. And so the guiding model that we've created, or I've created, developed, is literally how do we enhance or measure sustainability outcomes to be able to empirically compare the outcomes of these two different types of tourist operations, in the wild versus captive. It's an emotive argument at the moment, and what I'd like to do in my research program is bring some empirical objectivity. So the program's already been ongoing, and we have grounded theoretical research that's created a model, and many of you will be aware that we've already put this model to test in Tonga. We're now going into the second phase, or the next phase of this program, where we're actually going to compare this model, what the outcomes are for tourists, on an ecotourism framework, or within an ecotourism framework. In other words, ecotourism would like to impact people's behaviours so that after they've had the experience they act more proactively environmentally, or environmentally proactive. If we can actually start measuring and comparing apples with apples and look at, well, if those tourists coming out of wildlife in the wild or non-captive tourism experiences are having the same outcomes or similar outcomes to those in the captive facilities, then what is the argument to justify closing one or the other, or managing? The issues are, some people say, what's the problem with a few people jumping in the water doing crazy things with marine mammals, Kaye? Well, the issue is that the numbers around the world are increasing at a staggering rate. Most of these are occurring in places that have previously not been whale watchers or whale conservationists, but in fact eating whales and dolphins. And so they don't have the cultural aspects that are required to think about these ecotourism principles and to apply them, but also they're in the midst of political scene of controversy as well. That brings us to captive facilities. Used to be a highly controversial topic as well, society. We started seeing these decreased dolphinariums in the world, and now all of a sudden we're seeing an explosion of dolphinariums all around the world again. So this part of it is looking now at the outcomes of visitors to these dolphinariums and what sort of environmental actions are they being encouraged from this encounter that may be more environmentally friendly. One of the nice things about having a model to work with is that you can actually apply the model in the research. Using Leximancer as well to do qualitative research with some descriptive statistics gives us some really nice outcomes to be able to assess and compare, and comes up with some really interesting discussion points so far from that research. One of them is that they take different pathways. There are different values and benefits that are associated with the different types of activities or tourism activities. However, both of them are creating the environment or the ambience for people to have greater appreciation, global awareness and environmental action. If people are going to argue to close dolphinariums, then they need some empirical investigation to actually support that. Thank you.